What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we have the performance LED headlights from HogWorkz. All right, so welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to Radar World. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, so whenever I put out new videos, you guys get notified. And if you're a returning viewer, returning subscriber, thank you for your continued support and watching another great install video. So yeah, here we have the HogWorkz performance LED headlights. These are for the road glide. They do offer these for the street glide as well. By far, this is HogWorkz brightest, most powerful LED headlight. Each headlight features 20 projector LEDs with a unique daytime running light for enhanced visibility, a fully sealed IP67 waterproof lens, and a stealth black aluminum housing. These performance headlights have a 90% increase on low beam and a 45% increase on high beam compared to OEM headlights. Now on low beam, it's going to run 8 LEDs, and on high beam, you have an additional 12 LEDs. Now, if you went with the all amber headlights and you also want to match up your turn signals, HogWorkz also offers the gold tooth LED front turn signals. So make sure you check out hogworkz.com and check out all the variations they offer for performance headlights. So on the table, I do have different configurations that HogWorkz offers. Here we have the gold tooth performance headlight. This is gonna be your double amber. And then you have your silver tooth performance headlight. This is gonna be your double clear. And then you have your saber tooth performance headlight. This is gonna be the amber along with the clear. This is a complete plug and play system, so no splicing wires, no running wires to your battery, no modifications required. This is going to be a direct replacement for your stock headlight. These are great looking LEDs. I can't wait to take them out on the road so you guys can see exactly how these look at night and how they perform. Different variations as far as going with pure amber, pure clear, or if you want to have the benefits of both. I'll show you exactly how they look at night and how they perform, because a lot of times when we look at these, we don't know which variation to go with. Most of us want the look, but also the increased visibility. Now for me, I am going with the double clear. I do have another video lined up that involves some amber lights, so make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss that video. Now for me, I already have the fairing removed because I just completed a T-bar setup. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. So the fairing is already removed, but I'll show you exactly how I got this thing off. It's a very simple, minimal tools required to get this installed. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's go. All right, so in the box, you have your headlight mounting bracket, you have your mounting base, which already comes pre-installed on the headlights. You have your plug and play wiring harness, 2 standoffs, all your mounting hardware, and of course, your instructions. So the first thing I want to do is cover up the tank and cover up the front fender. You don't want any tools falling and scratching up your paint. So I'll remove the windshield. You have 4 screws right here. So this vent pops right up. There's only 2 clips holding it in. I'll go ahead and disconnect the turn signals. So I'll put 2 windshield screws back in to support the outer fairing while I'm taking out the other screws. Now, if you have wind deflectors or a fairing spoiler kit, all you have to do is remove the bottom torque screws on the left and right side, and they're a T25. Now, you have 2 torque screws near the speakers, and they're a T27. Now, I'll take out the right and the left turn signal bolts. The turn signals do stay attached to the outer fairing. And for these bolts, I'm using a 3/16 hex bit. All right, now that I have all the bolts removed, I just have to take out these 2 windshield screws supporting the outer fairing and take it off. Now I'll remove the headlight. I do have a lot of harnesses up here with some extra plugs. That's because I have a stereo system along with some other adapters. But if you follow your headlight back, you should see some screws down in the back right there. You have 2 on the top, and you have 2 on the bottom. So for the top 2 screws, I'll use an extension with a 3/16 hex bit. Now just make sure you're holding on to your headlight when you're removing the bottom 2. Now, because I do have LED vent turn signals, I do have to disconnect these. But if you don't have these, just disconnect your headlight right here. So I do have a lot of wires going on right here because I do have an amp installed. So I have this running to the battery and then some other connections. I will be moving these out of the way and kind of wiring them up through there. All right, so like I predicted, I ran into this a few times with performance headlights, those mounting brackets. If you have an amp, you are probably gonna run into some issues. Your mounting bracket is gonna go right here and it is hitting this amp. But for most performance headlights that I've seen, that I've taken out or installed, you do run into issues if you have an amp right here that's bottom mounted. There's only so much space inside this fairing. So if you do have an amp, you will probably run into that issue as far as mounting brackets go, and that's with any performance headlight. So currently I do have the radio out. I tried different methods as far as mounting this amp that's on here. There's no other screw holes or locations where I can place this mounting bracket and this plate that's holding onto the amp. This has nothing to do with the performance headlight or the bracket. This just has to do with the amp and the location that it's mounted on. It's just not lining up, so I'm gonna see if I can get the amp to shift over. Now, if you don't have an amp, you will not have this issue. This will line up just fine. I've seen this issue on numerous performance headlights. Those amps just get in the way of the bracket. It's just something you're gonna have to deal with, work around. I don't like modifying anything when it comes to plug and play systems, but it is what it is, so we'll get it done. So when you mount that bracket, you have these two mounting locations right here. Now, when you mount this bracket, you want to make sure you have this end going inboard. That's what your screws go into when you mount the light. So for the top, you're going to mount it through this location right here. You use a screw with a lock washer and then a regular washer. All right, so I have everything mounted back on. I was finally able to attach the mounting bracket, screwed in the top two screws with the supplied screw, lock washer, and regular washer. Now, if you do have an amp that gets in the way of this bracket, I just kind of came up with my own mounting system under here. That way I can push it back some and keep it up off the wires. Now for these two bottom screws, you're gonna use your OEM screws. Once I get the headlight mounted on, I'll get those in. Like I said, this is directly plug and play. You just plug in your stock connector into the harness that they supply you with, and then you'll take your connectors that plug into your headlights and run that behind the bracket and to each side. Now here, you want to attach your standoffs. These are going to secure directly to your vents. That way it gives it more stability. So here, I'm using an 8mm wrench and then a 3/16 hex bit for the screw. Now all of these screws are a 3/16 hex bit. I just went ahead and made sure they're all tightened down. Now these headlights are extremely easy to adjust. You have your screws right here on each side and you can adjust them up or down. You can have one headlight up, one headlight down, all up to you, but they're very easy to adjust. You just take a wrench while it's mounted to the bike and then you can adjust them from there. So I'll just put the headlight on the fender and get these connected. Just make sure your fender is covered up. You don't want to scratch anything up, and I'll just get these connected. Now when you go to mount your headlight on, just make sure you're not pinching any wires. Just make sure your standoffs are behind the vents. So here I'm using a 3/16 hex bit to mount these on. Now before I tighten these screws down all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and get these bottom ones started. Now you can have one headlight up, one headlight down, all up to you how you wanna mount yours. I would obviously have to go and ride with this to see exactly where I want them. So to loosen these up or to get them tightened down and get them adjusted, I'm using a 12mm wrench. Same thing with these standoffs. To secure vent, I'm using the screw supplied along with a lock washer and a regular washer. You don't want to tighten them down too tight or you might crack this plastic, so just get them down good and snug. All right, so now it's time to cut on the bike and test these lights out. Whew, that is extremely bright. Those with the brights on. Right now, I'm just gonna reinstall the outer fairing. So the same way you took it off, you're gonna mount it right back on. So don't forget to reconnect your turn signals. So this is the HogWorkz Silver Tooth. This is the double clears. I'll show you in low beam and then high beam. So, you know, it's all on you how you want to angle your lights. I like to have one low, one high, but I don't want to have it so high that I'm blinding other drivers or other riders, especially being in a group. You don't want to be that guy that blinds everybody when you're in the back. So the next night that I ride with the different set headlights, I'm going to make sure that I have the same conditions that I have right now as far as nighttime goes, same time of night and same, you know, visibility and everything else. We don't want to ride in a foggy night and it's going to be totally different. So here we go. Here we have high beam. These things are extremely bright. So here we have low beam, high beam. Here we have low beam again, high beam again, and low beam. All right, I think you guys pretty much see the difference on that. This is a very dark road, but yeah, high beam, low beam. Like I said, I'll go through all the options that HogWorkz offers just to help you determine what headlights you want to go with. Some guys are just looking for style, some guys want style and functionality, some guys just want that extra safety. A lot of guys do the gold and then the clear. That, you know, that kind of catches a lot of drivers' eyes because you got two different lights next to each other, so that does help catch other drivers' eyes, make them more aware that you're there. All right, oh man, these are super bright. All right guys, so here we have the gold tooth. We did the silver tooth. So yeah, this is the double amber. These are actually pretty cool. I've already ridden with them a couple times, and yeah, they're pretty neat. Just the way they look, and you can see almost every detail on the ground. Very nice amber lights. So let's go take these out. All right, so here we have the amber. You can see almost all the detail on the ground, all the way to the sides. You have plenty of visibility, and this is on low beam. So right now we're on low beam with the gold tooth, double ambers. These are some awesome performance headlights. Like I said, these are the brightest headlights that HogWorkz has came out with, and they are pretty bright. I'll go ahead and cut the high beam on. Oh man, so the high beams, these are pretty bright, very bright. People are going to see you coming, especially with these ambers. What's great about these ambers is that they're unique, so it catches drivers' attention. You know, a lot of drivers aren't used to seeing amber lights. You know, they're used to seeing, you know, clear white lights. So that's just another safety feature on that, having those amber lights. It catches those, you know, that driver's attention because they're not used to seeing that color. But these are super bright. So here we have the low beam. I have one facing down and one facing up. And like I said, you can play around with it, adjust them. They're very easy to adjust. But here we have the brights. Here we have the low beam. You have plenty of coverage on the low beam as well to the sides. So both sides, you got plenty of visibility. You can see everything. So high beam, plenty of visibility. You can see pretty much everything. I can see why a lot of guys like to ride with these. I mean, you can see a lot of detail in the ground. So yeah, love these performance headlights from HogWorkz. These are the amber, double ambers, gold tooth. Very nice set of headlights. The next headlights I'll do are the amber and the clear, so you get best of both worlds. So I'm gonna go ahead and head back. That way I can switch those out and you guys can see that. All right, so here we have the white and gold option. I already did the clears. I did the all gold. Now I've been riding with this clear and gold for a few days now, just trying to see if this is what I wanted to go with. And honestly, I can't really tell the difference. I know when I'm behind someone, they can see the difference because they can see the different colors in the lights. And that's what I was saying about, you know, having that different colored light attracts people's attention. It gets people's attention. So here we have the saber-tooth. I have it on low beam. I'll go ahead and hit it on high beam. So there we have high beam. There we have low beam and high beam. You got plenty of visibility on the sides, both left and right. Obviously you can tell the difference on what it looks like on this side compared to clear on this side. You have the amber or gold on this side and then the clear on that side. Plenty of visibility on the high beam and the low beam. You can definitely see everything around you. So these left turners, I kind of give them a flash, and yeah, they see me. So before it was always a gamble whether they see me or not, you know, and had plenty of close calls. But you know, with these lights now, I have no doubts that these guys can see me. I will say that the ambers, they catch people's attention just because they're a different color. People aren't used to seeing that. And then the amber with the gold. So if you want best of both worlds, like I said, I don't really see the difference when I'm riding. That's just me. I mean, when I look to the left, I can see that it's amber, and if I look to the right, I can see that it's clear. So I know that that's different. But as far as looking straight ahead, I can't really notice the difference, even with the high beams. All I can say is a great set of headlights. Trying all three of these sets out. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.